Welcome to the Radical Rhythm podcast. Today we have my friend Delia Gavrilescu, and she is living in Italy outside of Rome, and she is originally from Romania. And we have become really good friends in the coaching business. Delia, welcome to the Radical Rhythm podcast, but also it's Love Month. So let's celebrate a whole bunch of love.
Hi, Toni. Thank you for inviting me. And yes, that's true. We are connected because we had the same certification, the same program, and we stayed in contact. And I'm very happy to be here with you.
Oh, this is going to be so fun. Um, Delia, when we were together, we both took a life coaching course, and it was kind of generic. And afterwards, you followed up with another certificate. And can you tell our audience a little bit about your newest training and the type of coaching you're doing?
Yes, that's true. At the previous program we had together, it was like the foundation for our coaching business. And after that, I have discovered that my favorite tool as a coach is positive intelligence. And there is a specific program called the mental fitness program, which I use it to create the foundational work with my clients and then to follow up with specific exercises depending on their objectives.
And we talked last week about the intersection between what you do and what I do as a sexologist. And we thought this would be perfect together for love month of February, love week of February 14th. And we talked about different types of love because not everybody is partnered. There's self-love, there's the love we have for a pet, there's a love we have for a family. But in your work specifically, you and I have talked about an inner saboteur. What does that mean? And what is the effect of having an inner saboteur within oneself?
Oh, that's so, I love so much this question because it opens up everything I know and I teach and I share with my clients. From my perspective, you cannot share love without loving yourself first. It's the same like in leadership. You cannot teach leadership unless you practice self-leadership. So coming back to your question, yes, these voices we have inside us, this negative dialogue, it's what we call in positive intelligence our saboteurs, because you can go to the official site of positiveintelligence.com. You can have the free test there, and in 5 minutes you receive a result. And what is this result? It's showing you your patterns, the way you go usually on autopilot, because when we are stressed, when we are sad, overwhelmed, or not in a good state, we usually go to what is familiar to us. And there are 10 patterns in which we use to sabotage ourselves. Can be the controller, the avoider, the pleaser, the stickler, the hyper rational, and so on. And because it's the month of love, February, I think I can describe a little bit more and speak more as an example about the pleaser, because the pleaser, this pattern, what is at its root, it's somebody who likes to give love, somebody who appreciate the company of other, but it goes beyond the limit, and it's giving so much that he or she is on the last on the list. So they are over giving, being in the end depleted physically, mentally, overall being depleted because they are overgiving.
So would somebody who's overgiving all the time be a codependent personality, or is that something different?
Yes, I think they are codependent because you really need somebody, to be able to manifest this kind of behavior. But I think we develop these kind of patterns when we are little, sometimes because something happens in our life, but sometimes without no obvious reason, just because this is how our brain is wired. What we can do is, after you have this test, you can increase and raise your awareness by understanding the way you are reacting when you are stressed or tired or not in such a good mood. Think of how would you like to behave in an ideal way.
Nasty to their partner, mean to their partner, because they've been stressed at work all day, that they kind of snap at them or bark at them. And the other partner is tired of being yelled at and feels that their partner is mean because they do that. Would that be an example of sabotaging your own relationship because you're overly stressed at work?
Yes, exactly. Because all the negative energy you carry with you. We should have a line between work and our private life. And we should be very honest. If we want a strong relationship, it doesn't matter if it's a personal or a professional relationship. If you really want to build a strong relationship, it requires trust, and it requires for you to share or to understand, at least if it's professional, but if it's a private relationship, to share, if possible, the results of this test. Let's suppose we are in a relationship and I am being honest and say, look, Toni, these are the results of my test. It seems that I usually tend to be in a control mode when I'm not at my best. So next time when you are going to see me reacting and trying to control you, or maybe doing a micromanagement with you, it's not my true self. It's my controller, my saboteur, which is taking the form of controller. Or if I have the victim saboteur as in my top list, I might react when I'm not at my best, complaining myself all the time. Why this is happening to me all the time? Why life is so difficult? Why at work nobody understands me? Why are you being so? So I might show this kind of behavior, and you, because you know these patterns that I am having, you can recognize and say, oh, I'm not going to react. I'm not going to say something that is going to make the situation even worse. I'm going to let her relax. I'm going to allow her time to recover. And then when this pattern is not manifesting, I'm going to have a discussion, a conversation. Because usually people are not ready or are not able to hear and to see us. When you are full of cortisol, you are not really understanding the person you are having in front of you. You are just reacting on autopilot.
So I'm going to give a typical American statement here, as rude and obnoxious as it is. So what you're telling me is that if I'm married to somebody who's a bitch and bitches at me and carries on, that with your coaching, you could help them with their mental fitness. So bitching isn't like an innate characteristic in somebody, it's a learned process. And you're telling me it can be unlearned.
It can be the impact that it has on your life, on your relationships. It can be diminished. So if my results is showing me a grade of 9, let's say it's from 1 to 10, And let's suppose that I'm having 10 on controller or on stickler, which is the person, the typology that wants to have everything perfect. Yeah. By doing specific exercises for 6 to 8 weeks, you can succeed to rewire your brain and to switch your perspective, to change your mindset, and to see life happening in a different way. Because depending on your part of your brain which is activated, you react in a different mode. We have the left part of our brain which is wired, and this left part of our brain is supporting through the neurological pathways the logic, the data processing, everything which has to do information and data processing. And on the right part of our brain is the neurological pathways that are supporting emotions, creativity, intuition, your gut feeling. And when you are most activated in your left part, which is data driven, yeah, you cannot be in contact with your intuition, with your emotions, really.
Mm-hmm.
So the goal here is not to go on an extreme or another, is to have a balance, to have our full potential,
Mm-hmm.
and to be able to use the data, the logic whenever it's required, and to use the intuition, the creativity when it's necessary. So to combine them.
So since this is Love Month and Love Week, when we're in love with somebody, would it be the creative part of the brain rather than the logical and data point that we would be accessing?
Yeah, most of it, yeah. Because
Okay.
what we want to share are emotions, right?
My apologies for interrupting the program today, but I need to tell you about a course that I offer called Aphrodite's Secret. This course helps you overcome obstacles in your sex life. It helps you discover new forms of sexual expression and improve the relationship you're in or improve your skills for the next relationship you're in. This is Valentine's Day, and I have the course on sale from $347 down to $99. But you do have to purchase it this week, Valentine's Day, up until the 17th, 2024, to purchase the sale price. Now back to your regularly scheduled program.
What kind of advice would you give folks during this Valentine's week? Now, there are so many different love languages, whether it's giving gifts or it's words of affection or affirmation or quality time. Let me first get very personal with you, Delia. What's your love language? What do you receive the best?
I think my language is words of affirmations and time spent together.
Okay.
So
And what do you like about that?
I really like when somebody is really listening to me and understanding, processing what I'm saying, and supporting me in my journey on reaching my goals. And I also appreciate very much having time just for me and my partner,
Yeah.
and real quality time.
And I know that you have children. You have two
Yes,
boys, teenagers.
yes, exactly.
Is it tradition in Italy or Romania to show love to your children? Like my mother used to, we were chocolate fanatics. So she would give us a little gift that was sweets during Valentine's. My mother always gave us just a little something. Do you do that for your children, for your boys?
Yeah, we have the same, pretty much the same traditions, because we are very connected with Italian people, and we show our affection. It doesn't matter if there are boys, I still hug them, I still show them affection. And do you know why? Because I think it's very important, especially because we are men, um, to be used to receive love and not be ashamed of that, not feel less than men because they show affection. So what I'm trying to do is to raise my boys, being in their masculine, of course, but um, being proud of showing emotions and not feeling shame or guilty because of it.
Mm-hmm. I know my wife and I, Valentine's Day is almost a joke for us. My wife believes it's a capitalistic conspiracy to make us buy things. She really has taken heart to the Hallmark card company that they kind of created this, I don't know, enthusiasm in the United States about buying things for somebody. And she doesn't believe in it. So for myself, showing love in all the different ways, but gifts included. I've always been disappointed because I get so excited to buy a little something like my mother
So
did.
this is your love language, buying gifts?
Sometimes gifts are part of like quality time and I like surprises and giving surprises. So it's funny now because she doesn't want to celebrate, she doesn't like it, but every year she surprises me and remembers it's Valentine's Day and gives me some kind of token of that day. And I know how much effort it takes for her to do it because she doesn't like it, right? And it takes everything in me to show love by not doing anything, but secretly doing something, right?
I
That,
see.
yeah, it's a whole
I see.
game. It's a big game that we play all week, and it's always fun. Um, let's go back to your mental fitness, and I think let's take it to the positive. To the negative, we have the saboteur. But
Mm-hmm.
to the positive in your program, you have the sage or the
Mm-hmm.
person who is very wise. What is your love advice tapping into the wise person inside of all of us?
I think we all can ask ourselves, at the end of my life, how would like to behave in this situation? Because now maybe you are under pressure, maybe you have to give quickly a response or to react in a certain way. But think about over 5 years from now on, from 10 years, 40 years from now on, how would you like to see this moment?
Mhm.
Because this is the navigate power. It's like your inner wise self. So how would you like to see the situation, the conflict, the challenge, the problem, whatever you want to call it?
Yeah,
How
I
would you
can remember being an adolescent and having puppy love and chasing love and always trying to see if I had a love interest and if somebody else was interested in me and actually being consumed by it. And that makes sense in adolescence. That's developmental. You're supposed to have a period of time when you do this. But if you're an adult in your 30s, 40s, 50s, and you are consumed with love, meaning that you don't have a partner and you want a partner and you don't feel whole without a partner. I know a lot of people struggle in the United States this week during Valentine's Day. Um, some people say they're triggered emotionally, that they don't have a partner, so they feel less than. What would be
I see.
your response to that?
I would like to ask them, what is the hidden gift in this situation? Because there is always a hidden gift. Okay, so you don't have a partner, but what is the gift? Maybe you can do whatever you want.
Mm.
Maybe you can do something you could never ever be able to do it if you had a partner. Maybe you can engage in some activities you could have not if you would have a partner. Maybe you can use this time, this situation, to generate a future gift for yourself. Maybe you can work during this month of love on your personal development. Doesn't matter what shape or form has this journey, but maybe you are going to say, okay, in a month from now, I'm going to be even better, a better person, because I had my diet, or I did my exercises, or at least I had a few steps every day. I succeeded to read a few pages every week. I did something to be even better. So I prepare myself for when I will meet my future partner, I will be a better me.
Yeah, and there's all sorts of ways to show self-love. I mean, you could buy yourself a gift of something that you want. You can pamper yourself and do a manicure, a pedicure. And I don't mean going out and buying that, but doing it yourself at home.
Yes,
Staying up all night. You're not going to keep anybody awake. There's so many ways to give different gifts to yourself and take care of yourself, in addition to the
exactly.
things you said.
Because this is going to raise your vibration, and you are going to attract the kind of people you want to attract. Because having raised vibration, staying in positive energy and positive emotions are going to make you attractive for the kind of people you want to attract.
Absolutely. Raising your vibration, your frequency.
Mm-hmm.
You meet people of that same vibration. And if you're laying around and you're moping around and you're depressed and you're around
Mm-hmm.
and poor me, you're more
Or staying in.
likely to meet somebody just like that. And
Exactly.
that doesn't bring your life up or
Yeah,
enhance your life. It's like having a very heavy weight pulling you down when you're with somebody.
exactly. Or frozen somehow emotionally.
Yeah, yeah. So this love week, Delia, what are your plans? What are you going to do?
I'm going to do something similar which what you said before. So I have already some books I want to explore. I have already some things to transform my house in a beauty salon. I'm going to buy some flowers for me. I'm going to do all the little things that I know is going to make me smile, um, raise my vibration. It's actually showing love for me by doing that. But not only on February, I try to make it like business as usual for me.
Mm-hmm.
By doing that, I'm sure that I have enough love to share. Because if you don't have it for you, if you cannot show it for yourself, how can you share it if you don't have none?
That's a very good point. What I do is I try to have a routine as you described, so that there's always self-care in my life and reading and all the great things you mentioned. What I do special on this week is I send cards. I send cards to people that I am close to, that I love, that I tell that I love all the time. But in this day and age, we use the computer all the time. And I think a handwritten card is a very nice thing to receive that doesn't ask you for something, right?
More personal,
Absolutely. Well, believe it or not, Delia, our time is up for the podcast. It goes very fast. And I appreciate your words of wisdom that you've shared with us today about staying away from self-sabotaging and moving towards your inner wise person to raise your vibration, raise your happiness and joy that you have in your life for yourself, for your family, for people all around you.
And have some more compassion for yourself. We are just human beings. We all have these saboteurs. What you can do, and this is a free gift, you can give it to your partner or to anyone you want. You can go to positiveintelligence.com, have the free test, understand which are your patterns, understand and share the results with your partner, and make a commitment not to react on autopilot when you are triggered or she or he is triggered, and have more compassion and try to understand that sometimes it's not our wiser self, sometimes it's not our inner sage that is responding, but just some autopilot behaviors we learned.
So we're going to put that address under this podcast. And after they take the test, if they want to work on themselves, you do coaching. Do you offer a free consult? Like someone can call you and talk about it and see if your coaching and their problems match?
Yes, I can do something like that. And I have 1 hour of discovery call, because before going forward and using this app to support your transformation and to work on your mindset, I really need to understand if I'm the right person for you.
Okay. Well, Delia, thank you so much. I look forward to our next exercise we do together. Thank you from my audience and myself from the Radical Rhythm podcast.
Thank you to Toni.